Okay, so we had talked about this particular problem where we wanted to scheduling with deadlines. And we were able to create a very simple greedy algorithm, right? So where you just sort them by their deadlines and schedule in increasing order. And we did the proof. The proof mainly uh, proceeded around yes, they, that if there are two particular requests, I and j, with di and dj, and if I is scheduled before j and di is larger than dj, this is an inversion pair. And we try to say, okay, in an optimal schedule, so there's an optimal schedule with no inversions. And we did the proof, okay, assume there's an optimal schedule and suppose it uh, does have an inversion, you can convert it, so you can keep on removing inversion one at a time by doing a swapping. And we said by doing a swap, it does not increase maximum lateness. So finally, what that means, so you will have an optimal schedule that does not have any inversion. Okay. Now, this would be same as greedy, except that the cases where there are say multiple requests with same deadline. And you may have put in a different order in greedy versus in optimal, right? So this you can verify yourself. Suppose there are three requests with the same deadline. So you can put them in any order. Okay, it will not change the maximum lateness. Okay, it will not change the maximum lateness. Why? Because if you just think about it, you are putting them in any order, but anyway, the finish time of the last request is the same. You can put them in any order, 1, 2, 3. You can put them 3, uh, 1, 2, or whatever. But the time when they will finish will be the same. Okay, and because they have the same deadline, if the deadline is earlier, the maximum lateness, the maximum lateness based on these three requests only will remain the same. Okay. So if they have the same deadline, putting them in any order will not change the maximum latency. Sure. So actually, there are quite a few variations of this interval scheduling problem, and you can try some on your own. So now let us try a slightly different type of problem. So this is again a quite a famous problem, and this is called the knapsack problem. Okay, so what is the setting? So, so actually the setting itself defines two types of problem. So, so think about, so as you can see in knapsack, so there's a thief who is trying to rob a bank or a shop, you can say trying to rob a shop. Okay, but the thief has a knapsack. So in the shop there are say various items. So, so there are various items, 1 to n, and say the ith item has some weight Wi and a value Vi. Okay. You can assume, for example, that these are both integers. So let's say these are all integers. Vi and W. Now think in terms of a thief. So thief has a knapsack. So knapsack, let's say it has a capacity of the weight it can carry. So it can carry, say at most capital W weight. Right. So that means the thief cannot take more than that even if he finds things. Now, what would be an optimization problem for the thief? So thief would surely want to optimize the value that he is getting out of the goods. So, so he would like to carry as valuable a load as possible that he can fill in the knapsack. So that means there's an upper bound on the weight that he can carry. So the question would be, okay, what items should he carry? So let's take a simple example. So let's take an example. Suppose there are 3 items. So there is an item of 10 kg with $50 per kg. Another item of 12 kg, $45 per kg, and 3 kg with $30 per kg. And suppose the knapsack capacity is 15 kg. And as I was talking about the setting, so assume that these are discrete items. So for example, this is a single item with 10 kg weight, single item with 12 kg weight, single item with 3 kg weight. Right? So, in this setting, he has to either take an item or leave it. Either take or leave. And this is called 0-1 knapsack. So the thief has to make a binary decision over all the 3 items. So now which item would he take? So if you see here, the thief would try to maximize the weight. So in this, maximize the value under the weight capacity. So the thief cannot take all 3, 10, 12, 3 or 25. So what are the possibility? He can take either 10 and 3 or 12 and 3, right? So if he takes 10 and 3, what is the weight? So it's overall $500, $540, and $90. Okay, so if he takes 12 and 3 kg, so he gets $630. If he takes 10 and 3, he gets $590. So of course uh, he should prefer this option. So this would be the preferable option, that he takes 12 kg and 3 kg and maximizes his weight. So that is one setting. And there is another setting also. So where, let's say these, so he can take fractional value from an item. So think of this being uh, maybe rice and dal and all, right? So each one has some value per kg, but the thief can take as much as he wants. So there are, say, overall 10 kg of rice and $50 per kg, and thief can take maybe 5 kg of rice. So in that setting, so this is called a fractional knapsack. So the thief can take fractions of items. So in that case, what the thief will do? Now let's see whether the previous thing works well again. So 12 and 3 kg. So he can take, say, let's put the names of item 1, 2, and 3. So he can take 2 12 kg, 3 3 kg. And this will give him $630. Now, is there something better? Is there a better alternative? So, okay, now because you can take some fractions, so why don't I do this? I take 10 kg here. This gives me $500. Then I take 5 kg here. This gives me $225, and this is $725. So if I do item 1, 10 kg, item 2, 5 kg, this gives me $725. And this is a much better solution. This is a much better solution. So, so yeah, so that means depending on the setting, the way you will choose a solution would be different. And let's try to see an algorithm for both these settings. So let's try with fractional knapsack first. So what happens in the fractional knapsack? So what was the strategy underlying my choice? What was the strategy? So why did I choose one 10 kg, then two 5 kg? Didn't have to go to three. What was something specific about this order? So you see, the item one has the highest value per kg. So it's $50 per kg. So if you take this item, you will gain, right? And item two is $45 per kg, and item three is $30 per kg. Yes. So in that sense, I should first take the item that is having the highest value per kg and take as much as possible. Yes. And that's what I was trying to do. And when this is over, I cannot take this anymore because this is only 10 kg. My knapsack is 15 kg. I'll move to the next item that is the highest value per kg. And I'll take this as much as possible. So, so my strategy is very easy. So the greedy strategy. So this is a greedy strategy. So you compute the value per kg or pound. So that is VI by WI for each item. And you sort them as per this. So sort the items as per this value per pound ratio, value per kg ratio. Now, so after you have sorted as per VI by WI, so actually if you see they are sorted as per VI by WI, 50 kg, 45 kg and 30 kg. So now what the thief will do? So the thief begins by taking as much as possible of the item with the greatest VI by W ratio. Now, when will the thief go to the next item? If the supply is exhausted and his knapsack still has some capacity. So if the supply of this item is exhausted, and he can still carry more, so he takes as much as possible the next greatest value per pound. And he keeps on doing that until his knapsack is full. And so forth until he reaches his weight limit. Okay. So this is all your greedy strategy. I written it in a page, but it's very simple. Sort them as your VI by WN, and from the beginning, keep on taking items as much as possible. Yes, in the list until they are exhausted. And this is my greedy strategy. We saw how it works on this example, but is that the optimal strategy? Is that an optimal solution? So for that, you need to do a proof. Sure. So let's put the setting again. So you are given a set of n items, 1 to n. So assume that they are sorted as per value by weight ratio and call it say row. So say row 1 is equal to row 2 up to row n. Okay. And let's say we have a greedy solution. Let the greedy solution x1 to xn. So where each xi that denotes the fraction of item I that we have taken. So where xi indicates the fraction of item I. Okay. So just the setting. So I am using the fraction. So xi will go between 0 and 1, right? So I can take none of this, or I can at most take everything that I have. And each item I has a value Vi and a weight Wi. Okay. So if I take complete item, that if I take xi is equal to 1, I get a value Vi, right? And my knapsack is filled with W. Okay. So, and I will want to fill my knapsack. Assume there are sufficient quantity of goods that I can always fill my knapsack. So that means, can I put a connection? So suppose knapsack capacity is W. So can I put a connection between xi and W? So I'm taking xi fraction of each item. So the weight I'm filling is sigma xi Wi, and that should be capital W, right? Fine. Now this is my greedy solution. Now for a proof, what you will have to do? Assume there is an optimal solution. So assume an optimal solution. Now this will also look like some y1 to yn fractions that you are taking. Yes. So yi is the fraction of item I, and knapsack should again be full, because if it is not full, you can always put things in some item and make a better solution. So knapsack must be full. So again, you can see sigma is equal to 1 to n yi wi is also capital W. Now what you need to prove you need to prove that G is also an optimal solution. So prove that G is also an optimal solution, or G is part of at least one optimal solution. Okay. Now, how would you prove it? How would you prove it? So what you have a greedy solution x1 to xn and an optimal solution y1 to yn. And you want to prove that G is also an optimal solution. So how do you generally proceed? I guess now, uh, so now let's go back to the trick. What do? We try to see where do these differ? Yes, where do they differ? And if they differ, can I modify O so that it starts behaving like G while retaining its optimality? Yes. So that's how we proceed. So we say, okay, so I have fractions. So why don't you consider the first item I, where the two solutions differ? Okay. So fine. How would they differ? I mean, what can we use some greedy property in saying, okay, if they're differing, what is happening? So if they are differing, yes. So can I say whether uh, first item, can I say whether xi would be greater than yi? Can I say that? So remember, what do we do in greedy? So by definition, G takes as large fraction of I as possible, right? And from starting. So that means if it is possible to take some value, it will take it from item I. So that means by definition, if they are differing, xi has to be larger than yi because I am taking the from the beginning. Yes, the first item where they are differing, that means xi has to be larger than yi. Fine, that is okay. Everything else are same. So now, once I know that xi is greater than yi, what can I do? So let's see what is the difference. So let delta is xi minus y. Fine. Now let's go on and modify O. So now consider a new solution O prime from O such that, so you don't do any change before I. So for j less than I, y, so new solution say y 1 prime to yn prime. So yj prime is same as yj. So I retain everything before I, same thing. But for I, yi is same as yi prime. So then for the new solution, yi prime would be same as xi. So I take xi in my optimal solution. So this is O prime that I'm constructing. So I modified this. Instead of this, I put xi. Okay, in the optimal solution. O prime. But you see, once I do that, what I'm doing, I'm increasing some weight. I'm putting more weight. So that means I have to remove. So I have to now remove items of weight. How much weight do I have to remove? See, delta is the difference between the fraction of xi minus yi, and I have to multiply it with wi. So I have to remove items of weights delta wi from I plus 1 to I. Okay, and that will tell me how do I modify, uh, so how do I reset my YGs. Okay, so if I do that, I am still filling my knapsack. So I removed, I uh, I'm sorry, I increase some fraction for item I to make it similar to greedy, and whatever weight delta W I have removed, I am I have added, I am removing from the rest. So fine, I can do that. Now what we have to see, we have to argue now the total value that we are getting, the total value in solution O prime, the new solution, is greater than equal to that of, okay. If I can do that, I get a better value. And if I can do that, that means O prime is an optimal solution. And which is a contradiction. Right. So if it is strictly greater, yes, it's a contradiction, and then that means O cannot differ from G at any point. Right. So yeah, you can think, you can, when you write the proof, you can do in two ways. One is to say, okay, uh, it is greater than this, and then you will achieve an optimal solution. New optimal solution is a contradiction, or you can say you can keep on modifying it so that finally whatever you get is same as the greedy solution. Okay, so yeah. Now, how can you argue that the total value in solution O prime is greater than that of O? So for that, you see, uh, I am removing delta from I. I am adding delta in I and removing it from the later items. Yes. Now, so what is the weight? What is the value I'm gaining? So I'm, in terms of value, I'm gaining delta Vi, and if I'm removing all this, I'm losing some value. Okay, so some, I'm removing something. So let's say Tk Vk. Okay, summation Tk Vk from k is equal to I plus 1 to n. So suppose you are such that summation Tk Wk is delta Wi, right? Subject to this constraint that whatever weight you are uh, removing, that is delta Wi, because that was the weight, delta Wi. So you have to remove delta Wi from the others. Sure. Now, this thing is always, so whatever value that you are removing, yes. So so this is less than equal to, so because you know that they are sorted as per Vi by Wi, so this will be the maximum when you remove it from the first one. Yes. Sigma Tk Vi plus 1. Am I proceeding correct? What do you think? I think uh, I think this is I made some mistake here. I should not use vi plus 1 because I have not sorted them as per vi's. I have sorted them as per row I. So I should try to bring in row here. Okay. So this is not a correct formulation. So how can I bring it the rows inside? So I can do that if I put wk, if I put vk as wk times row k, right? So this is, so I'm just taking this. This is summation k is equal to I plus 1 to n tk wk row k. Yes. And now I can say this is less than equal to summation. So I think, yeah. So the largest value is for k is equal to I plus 1. So I can say less than equal to summation tk wk rho I plus 1. Okay. And rho I plus 1 can come common. And I know sigma tkwk is delta wi. Okay. So this gives me less than equal to delta wi rho I plus 1. Okay. Now what will I do? So what is this? This is delta wi rho I. So then what can I say? So diff value is this minus a quantity that is less than equal to this. So I can say diff value is greater than equal to delta wi rho I minus rho I plus 1. Okay, and that is greater than equal to 0. So that means when I am making that change, I am putting at the ith position if the solution was different, and I'm putting it back to the greedy solution, I again retain the optimality. Okay, so and that is sufficient for the proof. So you can keep on doing it, and that will tell you that the greedy is also an optimal solution. Fine. So yes, yeah. So this is how the greedy algorithms and proof work. So let me just talk about the other setting also. So the other setting was this 0 1 knapsack. So in the 0 1 knapsack, so what do you have? So so my knapsack has a capacity W, and I want to fill it as full as possible using a subset of items. So it's a 0 1, so I can either take an item or leave it. So now this particular thing cannot be solved by the greedy solution that we did earlier. So you can verify this will not even work. Yes, because the fractions are not allowed. Yes. So what was the solution? We took 12 kg and 3 kg here, right? So this is actually not a problem that you can solve by a greedy approach. So here we will have to go back to the dynamic programming. So think in terms of dynamic programming. So how would I approach in using dynamic programming? So I need to define my subproblems. So what will be my subproblem? So so overall I have 1 to n items, and I need to find a subset of that. So why don't I define like this? So optimal of I is my solution using a subset of requests from 1 to I. So from 1 to I choose a subset. Okay, and that will gives me the maximum value. And how would I proceed? How do I define the recurrence? So for n, so suppose I'm writing opt n in terms of subproblems. So you can say, okay, either uh, n does not belong to my optimal solution or n belongs to my optimal solution. If n does not belong to my optimal solution, then what happens? I have to choose from the remaining items. But if n belongs to my optimal solution, then I have that value plus I choose from the remaining items. Oh, but that already brings some problem, right? So uh, this opt n minus 1 and this opt n minus 1 are the same. What are we missing? What are we missing? So yeah, because if you take the max, it will always be there. So that means you always take n and you keep on doing that. And that will take you that will make you have all the items. But why can't we do that? Because what are we missing? So we are missing the weight. You see? So in this opt n minus 1, because I have taken item n, the remaining weight is w minus w. And here, because I have not taken the item and the remaining weight is w. So I need to also take into consideration. So also take into consideration the available or allowed weight as per my knapsack, right? So, so then if I want to consider the weight, what will be my uh, sub problem? So my sub problem will start looking like this. So it will be opt I W solution using a subset of requests of items from 1 to I subject to an available weight. W. Okay. So available means maximum allowed. Now, and so this will be, and what is my solution? This will be max over all possible subsets of items I can take, summation Vj. Okay. So what is the maximum value I can get? What is the subset that will give me the maximum value? So maximum is over all possible subsets. And what is the constraint? Subject to the weights, the sum of the weights in that subset should be less than equal to the capacity W. Okay. So I want to maximize Vj subject to this constraint. Now that is my optimization problem, and I know there is a naive solution where I try all possible subsets and do this, and that is very inefficient. So let's try using dynamic programming. So can we build a recurrence? So recurrence for opt IW. Okay. So you see, I need to now consider the ith item. So I will actually build a recurrence very similar to what I was trying to do earlier, but without considering W. So, but now because the maximum allowed weight is given, it may happen that the item I has a weight less than W, so or larger than W. Then I cannot take it. If W is less than Wi, the ith item has a larger weight than allowed weight, then I simply go to opt I minus 1 W. I can't take that. Yes. Otherwise, this is larger, then I have a possibility. I can take, so either I take the item, so I get Vi plus opt I minus 1 W minus Wi, because the weight remaining is W minus Wi, or I don't take it. So opt I minus 1 W. The remaining weight is still W. So I have to choose the maximum range. Okay. And that gives me a very standard dynamic programming way of choosing. And what is the profit, the maximum profit that I get? So let's use this P. So from the all the items N and with the whole capacity W. Sure. And so that would give me also some sort of time complexity. So I have to fill this NW blocks. Each block would require maximum over two things, and that is EG, right? This is constant time. So this will be my time complexity, theta and W. So yeah, so that is how I can do it using a dynamic programming algorithm. I'll suggest that you try and solve it for example, an example. So suppose you have three items. So item one is 2 kg and value is 4. Item 2 is 2 kg, value is 3. Item 3 is 3 kg and value is 4. Okay. And so this is the weight and this is the values. And suppose your capacity, the capacity of your knapsack, uh, let's say it is 6 kg. So W is 6, knapsack capacity. So what items you will take? Intuitively, you can see that okay, I cannot take all three. They are 7 kg. So I would take a subset. And if you take 2 and 3, you will get 7 kg. If you take 1 and 3, you get 8. Sorry, if you get 2 and 3, you get 7. 1 and 3, you get 8. Yeah. And again, 1 and 2, you get 7. So I think this final solution should be 1 and 3. 4 plus 4, 8. $8 or whatever. But how do you use this dynamic programming recurrence to find it? So you will have to construct this table, right? So N, W, N is 3, N is 3 and W is 6. So you have to construct this table 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And the cells will contain the values, and this will give you the final answer. Okay. So yeah, why don't you fill it using your recurrence property? So what do you need to know? So you need to know so suppose you want to fill a cell like this. To fill a cell here, you need to know opt IW, you need opt I minus 1 W. So you need this one, and opt I minus 1 W minus WI. So something from here. So you need to have filled all these up to here to fill this. Okay. So you will have to proceed. So you should try to fill it row wise. So fill row wise. Okay. So why don't you do that? So yeah, so that sort of finishes the greedy algorithm. So we tried, so what we did, we took some examples. We started with coin change. Then we talked about interval scheduling, where we went in detail about two particular things. One was where each has a fixed start and finish time. Another one was where you had a deadline. And we extensively saw what are the possible greedy strategies. How do you say that this is not correct, and how do you prove that this is correct? And then we talked about this fractional knapsack. And while doing that, I also talked about the 0-1 knapsack problem. That's the dynamic programming. So yeah, so this is all for greedy for now. But you see the greedy algorithms are generally very easy to implement. Yes, but you may have to give a lot of thought in thinking the greedy strategy and proving that why it is optimal. And that's what you should do a lot of practice on. Okay then.